I was fastening my daughter's necklace when my phone buzzed. "Cancel tonight," Mom texted. "I'm too sick to move." I stared at the glitter on Lila's collarbone. She was 11 and beaming in her yellow dress. I typed back, "Are you sure?" No answer, just 3 dots, then nothing. I made a decision right then. I would go anyway. If I was wrong, I'd apologize. If I was right, the truth would save me a lot more than money. It would save my sanity. And once you hear what I walked into that night, you'll understand why I rebuilt my family from scratch. I'm Maya, 35. I teach design at a community college and freelance on weekends. 4 months ago, my marriage ended in a courtroom that smelled like paper and lemon cleaner. Damon, my ex, cheated for years. I found out after a bank alert hit my phone for a spa package I never booked. The receipt had hearts drawn on it, not mine. The divorce was brutal. He demanded sole custody, then asked for a DNA test as if Lila were a rumor he could delete. The test came back with a 99.99% match. He went quiet. The judge split assets, set child support, and told us to cease weaponized communication. I took my half, found a 2-bedroom near Lila's school, and paid off my car. I started sleeping again. My parents, Ruth and Martin, knew everything. They held my hand through hearings. They brought soup when I couldn't eat. They cried with me at the kitchen table. So when Mom asked a month ago if we could host their 40th anniversary at a nice restaurant, I said yes. I wanted something lovely to happen to all of us. We picked Palermo's, the Italian place with the vine-covered patio. 20 guests, family, old neighbors, a few church friends. I paid the deposit with my card. Then I gave Mom a limited-use card tied to my account to cover the rest that night. "No stress," I told her. "You just enjoy." A week later, I had a bigger idea. I met my brother and sister for coffee, Leo, 32, and Tess, 37. "Let's pool money for a surprise," I said. "A hybrid. They've talked about one for years." Leo stirred his Americano and shook his head. "I can't. Daycare costs are wrecking us." Tess pinched the bridge of her nose. "We already bought them a framed photo session. It's paid for." I understood. I did. But that night, Mom called giddy. "A car, honey, Leo told me your plan. We could never accept unless it's a Toyota." She laughed through tears. Dad yelled in the background. "Blue. If it ever happened blue." I should have corrected her. I didn't. Their joy spilled through the phone and I poured gas on it. 2 days later, I signed the papers for a blue Camry hybrid. Tinted windows. Safety package. The salesman took a photo of me beside it, keys in hand, and I drove straight to my parents' home. Mom sobbed into my shoulder. Dad kept saying, "You're too much, kiddo. You always were." They posed with the bow. I tucked the title into my bag. For insurance, I kept it registered to me. "Just until after the party," I said. They nodded, grateful. Fast forward to party day. Lila and I had matching curls and small butterflies painted on our nails. I set our gift on the entryway table, a scrapbook I'd made with old letters and napkins from the diner where my parents met. I slid on heels. Lila twirled. "Do you think Grandpa will cry?" she asked. "He'll pretend not to," I said. Lila hopped on her bike to drop cupcakes at Grandma's like she always did before big family events. 10 minutes later, she burst through our door helmet askew, breathless. "Grandma's sick," she said. She had a towel on her head. "Grandpa told me to tell you they're canceling the party." My stomach dipped. I called Mom. Her voice came out thin like a thread about to break. "Sweetheart, my blood pressure spiked. I called an ambulance, but they said rest. We can't go anywhere. Do you want me to come over?" I asked. "I can bring soup. I'll drive you to urgent care." No, she whispered. "Just rest today. We'll figure out the restaurant later." I hung up. Lila's eyes were wide. "We can still dress up and eat cake," she said softly. "We will," I promised, but worry rubbed at me. I texted Tess. "Mom's sick. Dinner canceled. Want to grab something casual with the kids?" "Busy tonight," she replied. 2 minutes later, she sent a heart and a sparkle. I texted Leo's wife, Priya. "Rain check dinner can't. Plans already," she wrote. Maybe I'm paranoid, I thought. Then I opened Instagram. Habit, not intent. At the top, a story bubble glowed at slow netis. I tapped. There was Tess filming a lineup of champagne flutes sparkling under chandeliers. Her caption read, 40 years for Ruth plus Martin. We feast. A tag. The geotag said, Palermo's. The clip had gone up 4 minutes after Lila's bike skid in our hallway. I watched it 3 times. The clink of glass. The laugh I knew by heart, my mother's. She didn't sound sick. She sounded happy. Another story popped up. Leo adjusting a navy tie in Palermo's bathroom mirror. Priya wrote, he never wears suits unless it's for Ruth. Then there was a quick shot of the blue Camry in the restaurant lot caught in a pan of cars. My heart thumped once hard. I set my phone down. Lila watched my face. Are they having it without us? She whispered. I don't want to jump to conclusions. I took a breath. Then another. But I need to know. I called Mrs. Kwan next door. Could Lila hang out for a bit, emergency? I said. She said yes before I finished explaining. Lila squeezed me and whispered, be brave. I grabbed my purse, the gift scrapbook, and my keys. I drove with the windows cracked, even though the evening was cool. I didn't turn on the radio. The city rolled by in quiet blocks. The pet shop with the fish mural, the park swings swaying empty, the bakery closing its metal gate. I rehearsed reasonable explanations in my head. Maybe Mom's old video posted late. Maybe the champagne clip was from last week's tasting. Maybe. Palermo's lot glowed with string lights. The blue Camry sat in the second row, the bow long gone, my temporary tag still taped to the back window. I parked 3 spaces away. I could see our cousins through the glass, the ones who live 2 hours away, and never show unless there's free food. Tonight they showed. The hostess smiled when I walked in. Reservation name, she asked. Ruth and Martin Quinn, I said. My voice sounded steady. My hands did not. Her smile brightened. Right this way. We passed the bar. We passed a table of teenagers celebrating something with Cokes and too much cologne. We passed the photo wall with framed shots of famous visitors. My heels softened against the carpet of the private room corridor. A waiter slipped by with tiramisu and sparklers. My breath caught. The hostess opened a door with a brass handle. Music and laughter spilled out. I stepped into the frame like a photograph about to develop, and time did a strange thing. It slowed and sharpened, cruel and precise. There they were. My mother radiant in a silver dress. My father clapping cheeks flushed. Tess, head thrown back laughing. Leo raising his glass. Aunts, uncles, neighbors. And beside my father, leaning in like he belonged, was Damon. Fresh haircut. Expensive suit. That same crooked smile from the day the judge ruled against him, the one that said he would still find a way to win. Every face turned toward the door. Conversation drained from the room like water from a tub. I didn't step forward. I didn't wave. I stood still. The scrapbook felt heavy in my hands. Mom's jaw dropped. Dad's smile faltered. Damon's grin deepened. My throat burned. My head cleared. So the party wasn't canceled. We were. I looked at the table settings at the little porcelain swans holding place cards. One name was missing. Mine. Lila's, too. The hostess whispered, "Shall I bring you a chair?" "No," I said. My voice was calm. Not yet. I took in the scene like evidence. Who sat where? Who avoided my eyes? Who met them without shame? Tess flinched. Leo stared at his napkin. Mom stood, then sat again. Damon settled back, amused. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I just took one breath, then another, and decided exactly who I was going to be from this moment on. "Enjoy your dinner," I said to the room at large, still standing in the doorway. "I won't keep you." I turned. The hostess reached for my elbow, kind uncertain. "Are you sure?" "Completely," I said. Out in the corridor, the sparklers hissed on a passing dessert tray. The tiny lights fizzed and died. I walked back through the bar, through the front doors, into the cool night. By the time I reached my car, my plan was already forming. It wasn't loud. It wasn't even dramatic. It was simple. Clean, final. I started the engine hand steady at last. Next, I would do 3 things. First, I would take back the only card tied to my bank account. Second, I would make sure my gifts went to people who valued me. Third, I would protect my child from anyone who didn't. I put the car in drive and pulled into the street, the string lights falling away in my rear view. What I did next. That's where everything shifted. I drove 2 blocks, pulled into a quiet side street, and killed the engine. The city hummed. My hands were steady now. I took out my phone and opened the banking app. The card I'd given Mom showed as active. I tapped limit, dragged it to 0, and hit save. Then I revoked merchant permissions for Palermo's. A pop-up asked, "Are you sure I was?" I pressed confirm. "Next, call insurance. Please note," I told the rep. "The blue Camry hybrid remains in my name. No other drivers authorized." She added a note and emailed a copy. Paper matters when people play games. Then I called Rena. Rina is the friend who shows up in sweatpants and makes a hurricane feel like a yoga class. "I'm 5 minutes away," she said before I asked. "Where to?" "Palermo's," I said. "I need a ride back after I switch cars." She whistled. "Say less." I walked back toward the restaurant, heels in hand. The night air was cool. My bare feet padded over warm concrete. From the patio, I heard a cheer, then forks clinking against glasses. I slipped into the lot like a shadow. The Camry blinked when I pressed the fob. I slid in. The seat still smelled like new fabric and my mother's perfume. A ribbon from the bow peeked from under the mat. I tucked it into the glove box. Headlights on. I rolled out quiet and slow. No one looked up. No one chased. They didn't even know the gift had left. Rena pulled up at my building as I parked the Camry in my spot. She leaned out her window. "You want your other car now or tomorrow?" "Now," I said. "Clean cuts." She grinned. "Queen behavior? Hop in." She dropped me near the side street where I'd left my hatchback. We drove in circles until I spotted it, a little blue triangle under a streetlight. I hugged Rena through the passenger window. "I owe you." "You owe me a messy recap," she said, wiggling her brows. "Tomorrow brunch. My place. You bring donuts." "Done." At home, Mrs. Kwan opened the door with Lila already in her socks. She told me everything Mrs. Kwan said. "You did the right thing." We thanked her with a slice of the extra cupcakes. Lila slipped her hand into mine as we crossed the hall. "Did they lie?" she asked. "They did," I said. "I'm sorry." We changed into pajamas. I ordered pizza with extra olives and a salad we barely touched. We put on a silly movie with talking dogs. Halfway through, my phone started vibrating across the coffee table. Mom, then Dad, then Tess, then Leo, then Mom again. I let it ring. The pizza box made a soft thump when Lila opened it. She handed me a slice and didn't say a word. We ate in peace. We laughed at the dogs. We licked grease off our fingers. It felt like oxygen. When the calls turned to texts, I skimmed. "Mom, your card isn't working. The bill is here. Please fix this." Dad, something's wrong with the bank. Help. Tess, answer your phone. Leo Palermo's is saying declined. What happened? I typed one message to Mom and copied it to the rest. Me, I ended the card authorization. Handle your bill. Please don't contact me tonight. 3 dots popped up, disappeared, reappeared, then another thread. Priya, is this for real? I'm in the bathroom. Your mom says you're sabotaging. Are you safe? I stared at the mirror selfie she'd attached. Her lipstick was perfect. Her eyes were worried. Me, I'm safe. They lied. I'm done. Leave if you want. She didn't reply. A minute later, Tess posted a story, then deleted it, but not before I saw a flash of Damon's cufflinks and Dad's strained smile. A boomerang of someone slicing cake. The caption read, "Family first." The irony burned and then went cold. The next text came from an unknown number. Unknown. Be an adult. Maya. They invited me to make peace. Damon. I blocked the number. It felt like cleaning a stain. Lila leaned against me. "Will the restaurant be mad at you?" "No," I said. The deposit was mine. The rest was theirs. Adults pay for the parties they choose to have. She nodded, thinking it through. "We can pay for our own party tomorrow," she said. "Just us." "We will," I said. "Pancakes with too much syrup." At 10:41 a number with the restaurant's area code called. I answered. "Ms. Quinn. This is Elena, the manager at Palermo's. There seems to be confusion with a payment." "Hi, Elena," I said. The reservation deposit was on my card. The event host was Ruth Quinn. She has her own payment method. A pause. Soft piano clinked behind her. Understood, she said. Thank you for clarifying. Thank you for taking care of my parents, I said. They like extra parm. Elena laughed, surprised. They do. We hung up. I turned my phone face down. Lila and I finished the movie and fell asleep on the couch under a throw blanket that smelled like clean cotton and movie nights. Sometime after midnight, my phone buzzed again. I didn't look. I dreamed about wide water and quiet boats. Morning brought sunlight and the small thud of our downstairs neighbor watering plants. Lila slid into the kitchen in socked feet. Syrup, she asked. 2, I said. It's a holiday. We whisked batter. We burned the first pancake. We ate the second and third. The kettle sang. While Lila built a pancake tower, I scrolled. A dozen missed calls, 3 voicemails from Mom, 1 from Dad, 1 from the restaurant that I'd already handled. A block of texts from a group chat hastily made by Tess, named Family Emergency. Tess, I can't believe you humiliated Mom like that. Leo. The check bounced because of you. Mom. We wanted one peaceful night. Damon has changed. Dad. He helped Leo with interviews. We thought it would be kind. Tess, pay the bill and stop acting like a child. Priya. We left early. That last one landed like a small balm. I typed 1 reply and sent it only to Priya. Me, thank you. Are you okay, Priya? Yes. Leo's sulking. I told him this was ugly. I washed dishes. I didn't answer the rest. Boundaries need silence to set. At 10, Rena buzzed up with donuts and iced coffee. She took 1 look at my face, picked the pink donut with sprinkles, and said, "Tell me everything." I told her about the text canceling the party, the Instagram stories, the private room, Damon's smile, the way the place cards skipped my name like I didn't exist, the Camry, the card. Rena chewed, eyes dark. They built a party on your kindness and shut the door in your face. That's not a misunderstanding. That's a choice. Maybe they felt torn, I said. Maybe Damon promised them something. Rena tilted her head. Like what? Leo's been weird about work. Damon used to golf with his boss. Mom said Damon was helping. The word tasted sour. He buys loyalty. He rents it, Rena corrected. Not the same. Lila came to the table with a pancake skewered on a fork. Did Grandpa know she asked? I don't lie to my kid. He did, I said softly. He didn't stop it. She looked down at her socks. Then we stop it. Rena pointed the donut at Lila in salute. Commander Energy. We spent the late morning making a list called Our Real Family Party, Lila wrote in bubble letters. Parade of tiny plans, board games, glitter confetti, a trip to the dollar store for ridiculous paper crowns. No speeches, no toasts, just us, and whoever chose us without conditions. At noon, Aunt Jo called. Aunt Jo is my dad's older sister and lives across town with a rescue greyhound and a cactus she's named Barbara. She doesn't scare easily. Tell me you're home, she said. I am. Good, brace yourself. I left the party early because your mother tried to hand me the bill. Aunt Jo's laugh was sharp. She said, Maya will fix it. I said, Maya will fix her life, you mean? The room went very quiet. What happened? I asked. First, your father insisted Damon had offered to make things right by attending. Damon smirked like the cat that stole the roast beef. When the card failed, your mother looked at him. He turned his glass in his hand and said, My presence is the gift. Then he took his present back, a slim box with a silver ribbon. He put it in his jacket pocket. I pictured it. Of course he did. Then Aunt Jo continued. Leo said he'd forgotten his wallet. Tess said her purse was in the car. Everyone stared at their water glasses like they could drown in them. Eventually, your father put his own credit card down. He wasn't happy. When they went outside and saw the Camry gone, your mother... A pause. Let's just say she gave the valet an earful. It's my car, I said. Registered to me. I know, Aunt Jo said. I also know you bought it with love. And I know they traduced that love and invited a man who put you and Lila through hell. I don't have many rules, Maya, but I have this one. If you light a woman's world on fire, don't expect her to warm your hands. I breathed out. Thank you. One more thing, she said. Damon told Leo he could still salvage the opportunity if he distanced himself from your drama, which means this won't end with a check. He's playing a longer game. Watch the sidelines. Copy that, I said. After we hung up, Rena shook her head. Manipulator, she muttered. Classic. I opened my laptop and drafted an email to Palermo's. I thanked Elena again. I asked her to send the final invoice to my parents' address and removed my email from the booking, paper trail neat and clean. Then I opened another document. Subject line boundaries. The first sentence was simple. I love you, but I will not fund or attend events that exclude me or my child. I read it 3 times. It felt like true north. By late afternoon, Lila and I walked to the corner store for crowns and glitter. We picked up cheap streamers and a balloon shaped like a star. On the way home, a car slowed alongside us. The window rolled down. Akatan. It was Leo. He looked tired. Priya was in the passenger seat, eyes soft. Can we talk? He asked. Lila tightened her grip on the bag of streamers. I kept my voice even. Not here, I said. Not today. He nodded once, jaw tight, and drove on. Priya lifted her hand in a tiny wave. Lila waved back, hesitant. We set up our living room like a tiny kingdom. We wore paper crowns, crooked. We put sprinkles on store-bought cupcakes. We pressed play on a playlist Lila made called Just Us. The sun slid across our rug in a gold stripe. Peace felt like a warm sweater. Around 6, my doorbell rang. Not a text, not a call, a ring. Firm, familiar. Lila looked at me. I looked at the peephole. On the other side of the door stood my parents. No balloons, no flowers. Just 2 people who had made a choice and now wanted a quick forgiveness. I put my hand on the knob. I took a breath. Then I opened the door. But I didn't step aside. Mom's eyes were puffy. Dad's tie was crooked. They looked smaller than last night. May we come in? Dad asked. Hallway only, I said. Lila's home. Mom reached for me. I kept my hands at my sides. She let hers fall, then twisted her wedding band like a dial she couldn't turn off. We're sorry, she said quickly. We panicked. The night got away from us. You lied to an 11-year-old, I said. That didn't get away. That arrived on purpose. Dad cleared his throat. We wanted one quiet celebration, Damon said. There it is, I said. His name. Mom winced. A strand of hair clung to her lipstick. She didn't notice. He offered to help Leo. He told us showing unity would help. We thought if you came, there would be tension. He said he wouldn't stay if you were there. So you disinvited me from a party I paid for, I said, to host the man who tried to erase my kid. Silence pressed between us. The hallway smelled like someone's dinner garlic and butter. A door down the hall closed, soft as a purse snap. Mom looked at our paper crowns set on the console table. We handled it badly, she whispered. I woke up full of dread. I texted you. I thought we'll do this once and then we'll fix it. I kept my voice even. You wanted me to fund your decision and carry your guilt. Dad shifted his weight. The toe of his shoe was scuffed. We're asking you to forgive us. We'll talk to Lila. We'll explain. You'll start with me, I said. Then you'll apologize to her when she asks to hear it. Not before. Mom swallowed. All right. Her hands trembled. She clutched her purse like a life ring. The metal clasp clicked and clicked. I removed your card access, I said. I moved the car. Both are permanent. Dad's jaw tightened. We need transportation, Maya. You have a car, I said. The silver sedan you always drive. It's unreliable, Mom said. The dealership said. I'm not your dealership, I said. We both know the Camry was a gift from me. You decided you didn't want me. The gift follows the giver. She flinched. That sounds cruel. What you did was cruel, I said. What I'm doing is clean. Her eyes filled. For a second, I almost stepped forward. Then I saw last night again, the private room, the missing place cards, Damon's smile like a photo held to the light. The urge passed. Dad took a breath. We didn't plan to hurt you. You planned the rest, I said. Who sent the first message to cancel? Mom lifted her eyes. I did. Damon said he'd only attend if the night would be peaceful. He said he wanted to show he can be civil. He wanted a stage, I said. You gave him one. She didn't argue. My phone buzzed. A new text from Priya flashed across the screen. Priya, I'm sending you something. Check your email. I nodded to my parents. One more question. Did you tell Tess and Leo to lie to me, too? Dad sighed. We told them not to discuss it. We should have trusted you to be gracious. Gracious! The word snapped in my mouth like brittle candy. You wanted me to bankroll a night built on my exclusion and call it grace. A door opened behind me. Lila stood in the doorway to the living room, hair rumpled, crown slid to one eyebrow. She held our glitter balloon like a shield. Grandpa, she asked. Mom took a step forward. Sweetheart, we love you. We were foolish. We promise. I held up a hand. Not yet. Lila looked from me to them. Her voice was steady. You told me Grandma was sick. She paused. You weren't. Mom's chin trembled. I'm sorry, baby. Lila nodded once. Okay. Then she looked at me. Can I go finish my drawing? Yes, I said. She vanished again, quiet as a cat. My phone buzzed a second time. Email. Subject line screenshots. I opened it. Thread after thread. A group chat I wasn't in. Name, Quincor. Dates and times stamped neat as stitches. Tess. We should soft cancel to Maya. No scenes. Mom. Tell her I feel unwell. Damon. If she turns up, I walk. Your call. Leo. We need Damon on Sunday for the golf intro. Dad. Then do what's best for the family. I scrolled. Another clip. A photo of place cards laid out on Mom's kitchen table. 2 names set aside with a sticky note that read later. The names were mine and Lila's. My stomach tightened, not with shock this time, but with clarity. Stone, solid, cold clarity. I tilted the screen so my parents could see. Priya sent me this. Mom's hand flew to her mouth. Dad's face went gray. You didn't slip, I said softly. You planned. Mom whispered I didn't think she'd share. That's what worries you, I asked. The leak. Dad rubbed his temple. We were trying to think long term. Leo's job. Tess's contract. Damon has access. Then ask him to buy you dinner, I said. And a conscience. The hallway went quiet. Even the building's hum seemed to stop. I have a draft, I said. I'll email it tonight. It's a boundary letter. It lays out what changes if you want relationship with me and Lila counseling with a family mediator. A written apology. No more secret chats about us. No contact with Damon around my child. No more money conversations. You earn back trust with time, not words. Mom nodded too fast. Yes, anything. We can do that. Dad didn't speak. His eyes glistened. He looked like the man who taught me to ride a bike and the man who walked past me in a restaurant doorway combined. You won't see us for a while, I said. We need space. You can write. I'll read when I'm ready. Mom reached for my arm. Please the car. No, I said. Stop asking me for things. Start giving. We stood there breathing. Hallway light hummed overhead. My crown on the console tilted further and fell with a papery whisper. Footsteps sounded on the stairs. Voices. A soft knock tapped at the open door behind my parents. Priya peered around them, lips pressed thin. Leo stood beside her, looking wrung out. He held a manila folder. Mom stepped aside in reflex. Old patterns. We need to talk, Priya said to me. Her voice was gentle, but there was steel under it. With proof. It's time. Leo stared at the folder like it might bite him. I brought it, he said. The emails, the ones Damon sent, and... He swallowed. The offer, he dangled. You should see. Mom turned. Leo. Priya lifted her chin. No more secrets. I took a breath. I looked at my parents. I looked at my brother. I thought of Aunt Jo's warning, of Rena's eye roll, of Lila's small, steady okay. Fine, I said. We'll talk, but not in here. I stepped into the hall and closed the door to my apartment behind me with a soft click. My back rested against the wood. The 4 of them stood in a rough semicircle under the exit sign's red glow, the manila folder bright as a flare. Let's go to the community room, I said. Neutral ground. We walked in a small parade, quiet, past mailboxes stuffed with flyers, and a plant someone kept forgetting to water. The community room smelled like lemon cleaner and old coffee. I flipped on the light. A rectangular table, metal chairs, no photographs on the wall to judge us. Leo set the folder down. His hands shook. He opened it. Paper rasped. Priya placed her palm on the stack to steady it. This is how Damon works, she said. You need to see every piece. Mom swallowed. Dad took a seat. I stayed standing. Start, I said. Leo pulled out the first email. His voice was rough. Subject, conditions for attendance, he read. And that was when the shape of the night finally showed itself not as chaos, but as a map, every turn drawn in ink, every choice noted in the margins. Leo unfolded the first printout. His fingers left little half-moons in the paper. Subject, he read. Conditions for attendance, from Damon. Sent 3 days before the party at 7:12 a.m. He swallowed and kept going. Quote, happy to be present if optics are right. Peace only. No Maya. Seat me near Martin for a brief toast. I'll bring a gift. In return, I'll confirm Sunday's golf intro for Leo and signal Tess's contract to my guy. Keep the bill simple. Maya already covered the deposit. Present this as a mature family choice. Use anxiety language if challenged. My mother closed her eyes like the words were bright. Dad stared at the table edge. Priya slid the next page forward. Timeline, she said. Screenshots from the family chat. There it was, the lie in sequence. Mom's anxiety flare. Tess's soft cancel. Dad's do what's best for the family. A little thumbs up from Damon that made my stomach turn. Another email. Leo's voice grew dim. Subject optics notes. Damon again. Place cards omit Maya plus child. Keep 2 spares in case she insists. If she shows I'm gone. Don't seat me by Tess, she's a camera. Priya tapped the margin. And this she said, pulling a separate page. Subject, leverage. To my father-in-law. Damon wrote, Maya uses money as leverage. Remove access after the event. If she resists, call it unstable. People side with calm. My father flinched. The words landed like coins on a metal tray. Loud, cold. I felt the heat rise behind my eyes, but the heat wasn't tears. It was a pilot light. I let it burn steady. Why didn't you say no? I asked. My voice was quiet. Mom rubbed at a lipstick smudge with her knuckle. We told ourselves it was one evening, that we'd fix it after. We wanted him to help Leo. We wanted peace. That wasn't peace, I said. That was purchase. Dad's shoulders sagged. He played us. No, I said. He recruited you. You said yes. Silence spread soft but heavy. Priya slid a small stack my way. There's more. Her tone was brittle. He emailed me directly. Keep your husband aligned. Convince him to minimize Maya's behavior. Frame it as protective of elders. He assumed I'd help. I met her eyes. Thank you for not doing that. I should have sent this earlier, she said. I tried to nudge from inside. It wasn't enough. I'm sorry. Leo's mouth trembled. I told myself I needed the job, he said. I told myself this would make it easier for everyone. But it was cowardly. I chose convenience over you. Over Lila, I said. Say it. He closed his eyes. Over Lila, he repeated. I'm ashamed. Dad exhaled long and slow. What do we do now? He asked me, not rhetorically. For once, he didn't sound like a foreman giving orders. He sounded like a man who'd finally noticed he was lost. I pulled my phone and opened the draft I'd started. You listen, I said. Then you decide if you can meet this. I read no contact with Damon, no triangulating, no secret chats about me or my child. Family therapy with a mediator we choose together. A written apology to Lila, specific and plain. No borrowing, no gifting, no transactions. If you need anything material, you ask someone else. 90 days of quiet while we heal. Violations reset the clock. Mom nodded too quickly. Done. We'll do all of it. Don't promise fast, I said. Promise true. Dad looked at Mom. We can do therapy, he said. The words came out like a test. He seemed surprised to hear himself pass, and Damon, I asked. Dad's jaw worked. No contact, he said. He doesn't come near our house. I turned to Leo. The job. He slid a final page across the table. The subject line made my skin prickle referral conditions. Damon had written to a regional director. Happy to recommend Leo Quinn. Family entanglements should be managed. His ability to set boundaries with a disruptive sibling will indicate executive maturity. The reply. Let's revisit after Sunday's game. Send this to HR, I said. And copy legal. Tell them you're withdrawing from any process that hinges on your family's humiliation. Document everything. If Damon retaliates, you'll have a record. Leo nodded. Relief and dread fought on his face. I will. Mom pressed her fingertips to her temples. I hate what we did, she whispered. I hate that we did it to you of all people. You saved us. You always save us. I didn't accept the flattery. I won't be your safety net anymore, I said. You need to learn to stand. Footsteps scraped in the doorway. Tess appeared, cheeks flushed, phone in her fist. She stopped when she saw the printouts, the faces, the posture of the room. What is this? She asked. Truth, Priya said. Sit down. Tess didn't move. Damon texted me, she said. He says you stole the car. He says you're unhinged. He's posting. I met her eyes. The car's mine. Is he posting about a title in my name? She faltered. He's calling you a saboteur. The last word came out small. Shame colored her voice. Shame or doubt. Read the emails, Leo said, tired. Then choose your side. She read. Her mouth tightened. Her face crumpled and rebuilt itself twice in 1 minute. He offered to get my brand contract reviewed, she confessed. I wanted that. I told myself it didn't hurt anyone. I was wrong. You can fix it, I said. Pull your application. Tell your contact not to take Damon's calls. Block him. She swallowed. Okay. Mom's voice thinned. Will you talk to us again before the 90 days is over? I don't know, I said. Don't plan for that. Plan for your work. Dad leaned forward. We love you, he said. We were fools. Love without respect is noise, I said. Get quiet, then try again. We stood. Chairs scraped. Paper slid back into the folder. Priya tucked it under her arm like contraband. At the doorway, Mom turned. Can I at least tell Lila I'm sorry? You can write her a letter, I said. No promises, no excuses. Just the truth. She nodded. Her lipstick had bled into the fine lines around her mouth. She looked human, fallible. Not a villain, not a saint. Just a woman who'd chosen wrong. They left in a small knot. Parents in the middle, my siblings flanking them like bumper cars, guiding a fragile ride out of a fairground. The exit door clicked. Their footsteps faded. I sat alone in the community room for a minute and listened to the air conditioner. Then I took the stairs back up slow. Lila was on the rug with markers and a half-finished castle sketched in purple. She looked up. How was the room, she asked. Too bright, I said. But we saw what we needed. She patted the floor beside her. I sat. She drew a flag. I watched the lines appear. Grandma and Grandpa are going to write to you, I said. You can read it when you want, or not. She nodded. Okay. We won't see them for a while, I added. That's our choice. Not a punishment. A pause. She put the cap on her marker. Like when you hold a pose in yoga. Exactly, I said, smiling. A long one. Rena texted, how's the trial? Me, we found the map. They're going to therapy. Damon's mask slipped. Rena, he'll lash out. Guard up. As if on cue, my phone pinged again. A notification from the neighborhood app popped up. A post titled, Beware of Fraud in the Complex with a blurry photo of me. Someone had snapped me walking to the community room. The caption, This woman stole a vehicle and is harassing an elderly couple. The username was new. The writing style wasn't. I took a screenshot and sent it to Leo and Priya. Me. Your friend got bold. Priya. We'll handle it. Don't engage. Leo. I'm on with the moderator. Another ping. Elena from Palermo's FYI, a man called disputing last night's bill and your deposit. We have signatures. We declined. Also, he asked for the guest list. We did not provide it. Thank you, I typed fingers steady. Pancake leftovers for dinner, I asked Lila. With ice cream, she grinned. We ate on the couch in our bent paper crowns and watched a documentary about dogs herding ducks. The room felt like a harbor after hard weather. Before bed, I emailed a family mediator, filed Priya's screenshots into a folder called Record, and blocked 2 new numbers spitting unstable in caps. Lazy insults. A planned settled talk to the building manager, call an attorney about the neighborhood smear. Ask HR at Leo's target company to flag Damon's emails, loop in Lila's school counselor, and dump the Camry ribbon and all. The doorbell rang. Maya Damon called smug. I hit record on the doorbell cam, called Rena on speaker. Leave, I said through the door. Or I call the police. Optics are what matter, he sniffed, pressing a foot to the door. Wrong move. I phoned non-emergency neighbors appeared. Rena arrived filming. He backed off with a deadline threat. I logged the report number, sent video to the building, the app moderator, and Damon's HR legal. Elena from the restaurant offered a statement. The app banned the smear. Leo withdrew CCing HR. Then emails from my parents, apologies without emojis, therapy receipts attached. Not fixes, but beginnings. I sold the Camry. Rena tossed the stray ribbon. Aunt Jo brought a cease and desist template, a mediator list, and a therapist referral for betrayal trauma yours. The building preserved footage, added Damon to Do Not Buzz, and Mr. Alvarez offered to install a second lock. The mediator. Dana set ground rules, speak for yourself, no interruptions, name harm, and needs. What are you willing to build? She asked. Respect, I said. No secrets, no money asks, no Damon. 90 days letters, only no pop-ins gifts via school office. Break a boundary, the clock resets. Compliance called Damon removed from referrals on leave pending review. I archived it and made dinner. My parents wrote Lila specific apologies. We met them for 15 minutes on a park bench. No gifts, no speeches. She set soccer game rules, sit far away, no Damon wave, only if waved at. They followed them. One last stunt from Damon. A cut-and-paste cease and desist with brackets still showing. Aunt Jo mailed a real one on heavy paper. We added the second lock. The click became a prayer I could touch. Quiet returned. We painted a thrifted bookshelf, teal framed Lila's drawing, and ate cake on Rena's patio under paper lanterns that read honesty in crooked icing. Chosen family, right-sized. Day 91. I sent coffee as possible. 1 hour. No Damon. Progress looked like that small repeatable. Months later, I tied the old ribbon to the balcony rail and let the wind ignore it. Lila handed me 2 paper crowns. We wore them to eat pasta and named one brave thing we'd done, hers asking for math help, mine saying yes to coffee without rehearsing every line. Before lights out, I wrote, I am allowed to keep what I give. Not healed. Healing, not naive. Clear, the boundary holds, the basil grows. Quiet fills the space drama used to eat.